Hi there, Foxine here. On this episode, I'm going to go over some tattooing pet peeves. So a little bit of a disclaimer on this episode is I'm not out here to try to call everybody out on their crap, but some of this stuff just really kind of irritates your artist, and you should probably not. Some things are a little bit more tame, as I'll kind of go over everything individually, but here we go. For this segment, I actually made a list, and so I'm going to kind of go down my list here. I think first thing that I have written down here is no call, no shows. I absolutely hate when people no call, no show. I feel like it's super disrespectful, and I mean, like, this is a real job. This is our livelihood. I mean, this is why we ask for deposit first, because at least, you know, we can get paid a little bit for our time. But I cannot tell you how many times when I don't ask for a deposit and I set up an appointment, people just will not show up. It kind of just shows they don't think it's very important, I guess. Please come to your appointment showered. I'm going to say that one again. Please come to your appointment showered. Don't be the smelly kid. It's not cute. It can affect the healing of your tattoo, and it's just not pleasant because we have to be right there for your body. I know some people are just like, well, I don't like to do this. I only shower, once every couple of days, or I don't like to wear deodorant. I'm like, well, if you're getting a tattoo, you should probably be clean for that. So you can shower before you get your tattoo. So another thing to keep in mind is when you're going for your tattoo, you're going to want to wear the proper clothing for the piece that you're getting. So say you have like an arm tattoo, like an upper arm tattoo, wear like an overshirt so you can, easily take it off. You have, you can get to the area that you need to get to. Like if you have a leg tattoo, wear shorts, or if it's cold out, you can bring shorts with you. If you have tattoos in more private areas, like for women, it can be your chest, genitals, your butt, be a little bit respectful to your artist. You're going to want to try to cover up the best that you can. Some things that you can do to, like if you have like an upper thigh tattoo where it's really close to your, genital area, you can always wear like a thong. You can always wear something, or you can just kind of tuck it, roll up your underwear to where it's just that, so you're covered, because you want your tattoo artist to be comfortable as well. And I mean, we're not prudes or anything. We've seen enough parts. We have our own parts, but you just kind of want to be a little bit more respectful in that aspect. So you're not going to want to price haggle. For one, it's just really rude. And for two, I mean, shops have a minimum for a reason. And a lot of times that's where you're finding the haggle. At least for me, that's where I find where most people try to haggle is, hey, I want to have like this really small tattoo. Like, how much is that going to cost? Well, our minimum is $80. So, a person wants like a small little triangle on their arm, it's going to be $80. And they don't think about the big picture. So, yeah, like, it's going to be small. It's not going to take me very long. However, it's going to use materials. It's going to use my time. It's going to use my skill. And, I mean, I have liquid materials. I have like soaps and antiseptics that I use, needles, tubes, inks. I mean, got to use my machine, got to use power. Just there's so much that goes into just getting prepared, even for a small tattoo, that, I mean, that price is what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, like as an artist, I don't mind doing deals for people. I can do them. I like to do deals on like my Flash. We do like Friday the 13th deals. We do various things. but just coming in off the street being like, hey, yeah, I want this thing, and oh, but my buddy can do it cheaper, and all this, it's not a good look. All right, checking more on my list here. Here's a good one for everybody. Don't FaceTime your friends. Don't put your friends on speakerphone. I know. I mean, we're working here. I don't want to hear the rest of your conversation with, Betty Joe over here on how this guy, cheated on this girl, who cheated on that guy, who cheated on this girl. I'm like, no, nobody wants to hear that conversation. I'm sorry. I'm like, you can be on the phone. You can take a phone call. That's fine. But throughout the entire tattoo, if you're talking to like Betty Sue or something over here, a lot of times when people talk, they're animated. And when you're animated, you're moving. And when you're moving, I'm not, tattooing the nice straight lines that you're wanting for your tattoo. Most of the time when people get a phone call, I'll stop. Because I don't want to mess up your lines. I don't want to mess up the thing. I mean, it's okay to take a phone call and be talking while you're getting your tattoo, but I just don't want to hear the other side of that conversation. All right, so another pet peeve on the list of pet peeves is to not bring a posse of people. Right now, being COVID and everything, it's not been a huge issue where people bring, their mom, their dad, their dog, their sister, their brother, their monkey. Don't bring a monkey. But if you're a person who's not getting tattooed with that whole situation, it's kind of boring. So just don't do that to your friends. And because like you're there for your tattoo. It's for you. You're wearing it. You don't need to go down to the group and be like, hey, group approval. Like, no, your group of friends doesn't need to approve your tattoo. If they like you, I'm sure they'll like your tattoo as well. They're not going to be wearing it. You are. It's just, it can get loud for the tattoo artist, and sometimes shops just don't have the room for your friends to be hanging out while you get a tattoo. So if you're planning on getting a tattoo, just try to go by yourself. One person at the max to be your support buddy or your ride. Okay, here's one that gets me as far as a pet peeve. So in our shop, this is our shop. This is our home. We're not changing the music for you. No. Sorry, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. And the thing that kind of broke the camel's back, the last straw that broke the camel's back, was my coworker was tattooing a gentleman. And he was only getting a small tattoo, like on a finger. It didn't take more than about 10 to 15 minutes in total. And for those of you who've been to our shop, we like to play a lot of Disney music. This gentleman stated he could not, in good conscience, get tattooed listening to Disney music. He had to be tattooed to screaming metal. You're in the chair for like 15 minutes for your little tiny tattoo that you got. You can sit while, Elsa sings Let It Go. So, no, we're not changing the music ever again for anybody. You can deal or you can't, and I'm putting my foot down for that. You can't change my mind. As a side note, get off of my tangent and everything, you are allowed to bring your own headphones. So if you're one of those guys that can't get tattooed without listening to screaming metal music, then, you bring your headphones and I'll just rock out to, Hakuna Matata. All right, looking down the list, there's some minor ones that I know personally for me kind of get on my nerves. I really don't like it when my clients are just like, oh, that's a great tattoo gun. Thanks. I know my machines are sparkly, but I'm that guy who doesn't like it being called a gun. I mean, that's minor, and I mean, I don't even know where that came from, but that kind of just bugs me a little bit. One of the other things is when I get clients who state that they want to start tattooing and, just want to get into the tattoo life and the tattoo world, and I'm not gonna lie, that one makes my fight or flight response kick up. Good for you if you want to pursue that journey. My suggestion on that is don't. That's really like the first thing that always goes to my mind is just don't. There's I can go on that topic, and 9 times out of 10 when people tell me they want to start tattooing, I come up with every single thing not to, but that's just me. But that's small. I guess as a side note there, tattooing really just isn't for everybody, and I think I'll probably have like a whole segment on there because I'm kind of opinionated on that thing, and I know we're all supposed to be the supportive artist types and everything, but it's just one of those things where it really just is not for everybody. Alright, so here's one on my list that kind of gets to me. This is a pet peeve of mine, and here's where the disclaimer comes in. If you're one of those people that gets a tattoo like this, I'm not trying to call you out because I've done so many of these, but this is just something that just makes me just, like how a cat poofs up? Yeah, that's that feeling. The it's for me tattoo. And for those who don't know what that means, typically it's a lot of people get them on their arms, and it's a representation of the tattoo, but it's upside down. So I guess think of your body like you're standing straight up and down, like your head being the top, feet being the bottom. Well, the image itself would be upside down, so you can bring up your arm and then you can see it. Well, here's the thing to think about. I mean, it's, what the tattoo is, what it is of. But I mean, tattoos typically are a visual representation of yourself. So it's one of those things where you can present to people and be like, hey, this is a representation of myself. So, I mean, I get it. You want to see the pretty picture, you want to see, it upright, but ultimately it's kind of a 50-50 thing. It's for you, yeah, but it's also not for you. It gives that representation for you. I do try to explain to my clients the reasoning behind getting the tattoo, facing the correct way. And I mean, it's okay if you get it for yourself. You can look at it. I mean, it is, you're going to have to wear it. But as a person who has a it's for me tattoo, like all of my kanji here are facing the wrong way. I have had people stop me who can read it, and I'm having to, and I guess a good chunk of people who have gotten upside down tattoos that I'm still in contact with regret it. They do. Me being one of them, but not to say that everybody will. Because again, I'll still do your tattoo however you want it. You have to wear it. But I at least try to explain the reasoning why it would be upside down. All right, so continuing down this list, there's two types of tattoo folks here that kind of get on my nerves. It's the I can't make up my mind and the total control freak. So being the I can't make up my mind, it's really kind of hard for me if I don't know what direction to take. I have had clients who are super excited to get a tattoo, but they're like, I just don't know what I want. Okay, what are you into? I don't know. Okay. Do you like flowers? Yeah, I like flowers. Do you know what kind? No. Okay. And it's just question after question and running around and trying to figure out and where and size. And I mean, a lot of these questions are standard for me anyway, but you kind of have to come into getting something on your body with at least a general idea of what you're going to want. That being said, like the opposite of that is the total control. I don't mind when I have a client who knows what they want and exact and everything, but a lot of times the total control client is a perfectionist client, and you're going to have to understand the expectations of your tattoo. A lot of times the perfectionist clients I've had, they want it to look exactly like their image, which is fine. But what I tell them is, I am a human being. And you're gonna hear this a lot. I told you early in my channel, it's like I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm a human being, and I'm not a printer. So I'm going to do your design the best of my human capabilities, which means it's going to be exact for how I can make it. And a lot of times people don't understand that. They'll go back through and be like, well, this line is just a little bit thicker than this line, and this one here, it's just a little, can we move this here? I'm like, I don't mind making adjustments to the tattoo. I really don't. I can fix, thin or thick lines. I can do this stuff, but you're going to have to realize that, over time, also tattoos are going to lose their sharpness. If you get something super tiny, it will end up blurring out a little bit over time, because tattoos fade as you age. And it's just, you're going to have to curb your expectations a little bit. And I don't really know how to say that other than just that, because it's truthful. We are going to do our very best to create the exact image that you're wanting. But it's going to be on skin. Like, skin is weird sometimes. Your skin doesn't always hold certain colors sometimes. Sometimes people heal weird. Sometimes, you get like a dog scratch in the middle of your tattoo. And that really, I've got cats. I've got cat scratches in my tattoos. But it's just something that you have to think about, is this piece of artwork is going on a living, breathing you. Tying into the whole expectations thing too, you definitely are going to want to do some more research. Like, if you're wanting that person to do a photorealistic picture of your grandma on your arm, you're going to need to find a person who does photorealism for tattoos. Unfortunately, you can't just walk into just any random tattoo shop and with any random tattoo artist and be like, I want photorealism now. Well, I do animals. Like, I love doing animal portraits, but I don't do people portraits. So that expectation is going to be right out the window for me there. So you really have to look up and see like what you're looking for. And it kind of goes back into making up your mind. But you still have to be, I guess, loose enough to know that, again, we're not printers. Oh, and speaking of tattoos right now, that's one of the things that kind of gets me too, is I'll have these people that come in off the streets, which I love doing walk-ins. I'm so very sad that we can't do walk-ins right now because of the whole COVID thing. But you'll get these people that are like, I have 10 minutes before I can get on a plane. I need a tattoo right now or I'm gonna die. Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna happen. For one, a lot of times we have our own clients. We're probably in the middle of a tattoo when you come in, or we're waiting for our client to come in. But again, going back to that whole we're not printers thing, you're gonna have to fill out paperwork. You're gonna have to figure out your design. Do you already have it? Do you need us to draw something up? Pretty much the process of like drawing and setting up and stuff, if you're fresh off the streets, you're gonna be here for probably a minimum of an hour. Like, you have to plan for that. So we joke about people doing drive-by tattoos, be like, can I get a tattoo? And no, it doesn't work like that. Like, even when I schedule my appointments, like, I don't set up until my client gets there because I don't know if they're going to be a no call, no show. Even when setting up deposits, I've had people who are no call, no shows, and I don't want to waste my supplies. But my tray setup, depending on how complicated the piece is, by itself takes about, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes to set up. So you're not gonna get it right now. You're gonna have to be a little patient. So one of the last pet peeves that I got on my list here is touch-ups, which I have no problem touching up your tattoo. However, I have been doing this long enough that I can tell when it's a me issue or a you issue. We give out healing like sheets for our aftercare, and we go over aftercare with you. And a lot of times when people have tattoos and everything, we try to ask and say, hey, is this method going to work for you for aftercare? How do you normally heal your tattoos and everything? So, we'll kind of assume, you know what you're doing if you've got a lot of tattoos, but we'll still go over the aftercare. Now, we can tell when you've soaked your tattoos. We can tell when you've gone swimming. We can tell if you've let your tattoos get weirdly infected. We can tell if you have an allergy to the ink. We can tell if it's our mess up. We really can. I mean, most tattoo artists who've been doing this for, enough time, you've got to stop blaming us for your messing up. Like, if you're going tanning, if you're going swimming, just own up to it. It's okay. We're not gonna yell at you. I might, give you that weird look, be like, but I'm not gonna yell at you. Just if it's your mess up, you might have to pay me to fix it. But if it's my fault, if I don't, saturate the color enough, or I missed the line, that's on me. I got you. It's okay. All right, last thing on my list goes back to that heated topic of tipping. So you don't have to tip. You don't. I appreciate it, and I remember my clients who do. But one of the things about it that's a pet peeve is if you do tip, please make it at least like $5 or above. Like, if you're tipping your artist like $2 or $3 on an 80 on up tattoo, just don't even tip. Like, I know it's the whole thing of, oh, you should just be grateful and everything, but I'm like, $2 or $3? It's okay. Like, it's okay. You can just, I don't need that. I don't need a tip. I appreciate it. I actually appreciate when somebody says, hey, I'd love to tip you, but I just don't have the money for that. Like, you know what? That's okay. I got you. You know what? Enjoy your tattoo. I love it. You're a doll. And I remember those people too. Because, even for me, it's just like the idea. But I've had those people, like, I've had people who their spouse, like, specifically, here's a story for you. This client's spouse, I had overheard her talking to her husband. She stated that the tattoo I had done was really well done, it was a great idea, great for you and everything. Go ahead and tip her $20. And he looked at her, looked at me, and straight up gave me $3. So, at that point, that's fine. That's cool. It's a tip. Thank you. But I would rather you just say, I'm not going to tip you, but I appreciate the work that you've done. So, that's probably a heated topic, and I know people have their opinions on the whole tipping thing, but that's my story. Well, I hope you enjoyed my episode of the weird, strange pet peeves. I'd love to hear your guys' stories or your opinions or your pet peeves on what you do. Yeah, if you like my stuff, please like and subscribe, and here's to the next one.